In this video, I am going to talk about how I record with the Positive Grip Spark Amplifier, Spark 40, which is just a great amplifier, great practice tool, but it's also great for recording. Really good sounds, and I'm going to show you a couple of methods that you can use. There's a third method that you can use, which is recording with the with a microphone, but I live in a condo, and if I turn this up to what it would need to be in order to record properly, because I have tried it, it just doesn't sound as good. And it really sounds good, the two methods that I'm going to show you. One method, which is the simplest, is using a USB cable that's provided by the folks at Positive Grip with their Spark amp, which goes out the back, and then this plugs right into the computer. I'm using an iMac, and I'm using Logic Pro, but you could be using GarageBand or any other digital audio workstation or DAW. This is actually a video geared towards people who might be on the entry level of recording. If you are used to recording, a lot of this is going to be pretty basic for you, but I wanted to do this video because as I researched this and as I tried this out, like I said, I used the USB cable, but I also am using this splitter cable, 6.35 millimeter TRS to a dual 1/4 inch TS mono stereo wide cable splitter. Right now, I wasted a lot of time trying to use this adapter here going into an XLR cable, but you have to split the signal. And I will provide a link to an article from soundonsound.com about that. In fact, everything that I'm going to be showing today, including the cables and even my Scarlett interface that I'm going to be using to come out of the headphone port, I'll have in the comments. I'll have links for that. So the two methods that I'm going to be showing you today is I'm going to be using the USB cable direct into the computer, and then I'm also going to be using this splitter wide cable system that's going to go into a Focusrite. That's my audio interface, and then I'm going to take that into the computer again with a USB cable. I'm going to be using 3 presets that I've created on channel 1, 2, and 3. I'll be doing other videos about this, and in fact I'll probably be doing many Spark videos just because it's just such a great tool, and I want to help those of you who are just getting into this because it has a learning curve. Although you can just plug it in and it sounds great, but to take advantage of all the features that you can access with it, it's a little bit of a learning curve, especially for us older folks, right? Maybe younger folks, if you're watching, you've already got this figured out. For those of you who are struggling a little bit, hopefully I can help you out with this. Okay? Today I'll be playing through my 2012 Fender American Stratocaster Special. I'm using this wireless Getaria system, which is working really good. It only ran like $39, but I've been using this for like 3 or 4 months now. I really am pretty impressed with this system. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to record directly into the computer with a USB cable. I've got this one all set up. I'm just going to plug this into the back of the amp, and you can see here that I have Logic Pro started. The first thing that when we start up Logic Pro, it's going to want to know if you want an audio track or whether you're going to be using their software for creating your amp sounds and tone. In this case, we're going to be using the Spark amp, so we're just going to create an audio track. and we'll go create. So before we start here, I'm going to go to Mac preferences, and I'm going to set this up for the audio because I like to have the audio for the system and Logic Pro to be same. See, it sees Spark, so I'm going to, for the input and the output, use Spark. So Spark 40 USB. Input, Spark 40 USB. Now I'll go to the Logic Pro, Preference, and we're going to go to Audio, and we're going to set this up for Spark USB. For recording, for the I/O buffer size, we'll set that for 32, and we'll bump that up if I get into any kind of a mixing. I'm not going to get into mixing too much today. We'll go ahead and start out like that, and I'll put on my headphones so I can hear what's going on, and grab my guitar. Okay, now the first thing that you're going to want to do when you first start out here is you need to hit the record, and then, although you're not going to be able to hear it until I actually start recording this, you're going to want to set your levels, your volume levels. Now, when you're digitally recording, you're going to want to stay at around -18 dB. So I'm just playing right now. You can use the master volume control on the amp. That's a little hot. Okay, we'll start recording now. You want to set your volume to about -18 dB. Now in the old days, when you use audio, a lot of people would set that for 0 dBs, but this is digital audio, so 18 would be the equivalency for the way we used to do it with audio equipment. So I'm going to use the master volume along with my own volume controls. The master volume doesn't affect your tone, whereas if you go in and you start messing with any of these other controls, it will change your patches. I'm going to use 3 patches that I custom created. I'll be showing in other videos how I do that. We'll start out with the clean patch right now. Okay, so now we'll go into the dirty channel, or crunch. And I'm going to have to adjust my volume a little bit here. Hit R for record. That's coming in a little hot. So we'll back that off a bit. Okay. And then here's kind of a lead tone that I put together. So let's just test that. Get that into that minus 18 dB there. That's about right there. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to set up the Focusrite, and you can get a listen and decide which one you like better. I can't tell really much of a difference. I usually just go out USB, but you can decide. There's a somewhat of a, you know, advantage, or at least some people think so, is that you can plug this Y connector into both of your inputs here, and you can get like a stereo effect. But you know, you can do the same thing by just duplicating your track in Logic Pro. So there is a long proven technique of recording the same, like for instance a lead line or even rhythm, where the guitarist will record exactly the same lead twice, and then they'll take those two tracks, and because one's a little bit different than the other, it makes it sound really good and big and full, and that's how you get those really nice guitar sounds and tones on various recordings. You can kind of do that also by taking one track and then altering or applying some effects to one of the tracks. The main thing is that one track is a little different than the other track. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the Focusrite now. I'm going to be creating new audio track here. I can actually set up two, but like I said, then that uses up both of your inputs. And I want to create a video where I'm going to take some of my acoustic guitars, like my resonator, and I want to mic that one and then go direct, and I want to do a video about that. I think it'll sound really good. But I'll set up two audio tracks. This is a Scarlett. This is a 2 input, and then what I'm going to do is, in this setup, I'm going to take out the headphones now, and then we'll plug this right into the headphone port of the Spark, and then I'm going to plug into the 2 inputs. Okay, now I'm going to have to redo the audio in the computer and in Logic Pro. I'll disconnect here, and we're going to get the last selected audio interface is not available. That's because we're going to plug in the Focusrite Scarlett. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go into see, do you want to use the audio device Scarlett? Yeah, we want to use it, so we just say yes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set these 2 tracks up. So we want to put recording. We want to enable these, and on this track I'm going to say input 1, and on this track I'm going to select input 2. And that corresponds with input 1 and input 2. All right. So there we go. Now I probably will go into the, just so I don't have any system problems, I'll go into system preferences, and I'll just make sure that the audio is same. It's something that I've gotten used to doing because I've had issues in the past, but that was with you know, older systems. But I just get into the habit of doing this. So input is going to be Scarlett, and output is going to be Scarlett. Okay, which is now same with Logic Pro. And what I'll need to do for this setup is I need to put a 1/4 inch adapter on this input, and then I'll plug that into the Scarlett. Now I can monitor. I'll hit return. We'll go back to the beginning, start recording again, and I'll try to play kind of the same thing as I did before. But we're going to have to go through that setup of, we're going to need to adjust both the amplifier and also on audio interface. We can go on each channel, and then or each input, we can go ahead and adjust the dB levels coming into the DAW. So let's see. Oh, we want our clean sound, so I'm going to select that. That's on channel 1 on my amp. And I'm going to take these down just a little bit because they're running a little hot. Input 1, let's break that down. And then input 2. Okay. Now let's see if I can play halfway decently here. Okay. And then we'll hit record. Oh, I better turn off the other track first. Notice how it starts recording both tracks, huh? So we want to go, so we're going to say, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the M on the first track, or first recordings here, and I'll hit M. That'll mute that way as we play. Okay, so here we go. We'll hear just what we're playing. Okay, so I'm going to hit R for record. Notice how I've got that. Okay, now let's go to that crunchy track or channel, that tone, crunchy tone. Let's go for the crunchy tone here. And I'm gonna have to take that down a bit, so I'm gonna maybe a little hotter. There we go. Okay, now I'll go to the third patch here on the amp, channel 3. So it has it's more of a lead patch that I created. And actually that's coming through pretty nicely. So I'll just play a little bit here and then we'll try to kind of compare the two together, okay? Now, let's compare Okay, so that should give you an idea of the difference, hopefully the difference between going USB out versus using the like a DAW and then going out the headphone port. If you found any of this helpful, you know, like and subscribe, right? But like I said, I really am enjoying this amp, and I'm going to put together some more videos, show you some of the things that I'm doing with it, and try to clear up a few things that I think, especially for new users and, like I said, us older folks. But anyway, until the next video, have a great day or evening wherever you're from. Okay, aloha.